picture you're looking at does not represent an emperor's crown, nor a strange tropical flower. It is a raindrop splashing. Actions of this type are the work of a group of specialists here at the studio and represent a very important trick of our trade. It's the trick of making the cartoon characters themselves more believable by using extremely realistic animation of the incidental actions. The character's shadow, a puff of dust or smoke, a forest fire, a volcano erupting, or in this case, the splash of a raindrop. We call all these actions effects animation. As the animated cartoon industry grew bigger and we began to make cartoon features, there was an increasing demand for more convincing effects animation. And so, a group of our highly skilled animators was enrolled in a new course of self-education. Here we see the effects animators at their studies. This may give the impression of sabotage in the schoolhouse or pupils at play while the teacher's away. Actually, it is nothing of the sort. These are earnest students of animation trying to find out exactly what happens, when it happens, how it happens, and why. By slowing the action down, they could observe exactly what did happen. This film was photographed at the speed of 3,000 frames per second. In this way, the action, which occurred in 1 second, was slowed down to take place on the screen in 120 seconds, or 2 full minutes. One of the things brought out very clearly by these studies was that animating breakage or shattering effects of any sort required tremendous attention to detail. This applied all the way from animating a shattering window to the cataclysmic effects of an earthquake. For instance, in the Rite of Spring number from Fantasia occurred one of the most elaborate man-made earthquakes our effects department was ever called upon to animate. When occasion demanded it, the students went to even greater lengths in setting up a laboratory experiment. The problem in this next case, how to simulate the very creation of our planet. They wanted to depict in close-up the seething and bubbling of the Earth's surface during creation, and they wanted a mock-up to study how it might have looked. For the molten lava, they had to resort to a substitute. They finally agreed to settle for orange-colored mud. Here is Joshua Metter, one of our effects animators. He was in charge of the project. 2 other effects animators, Jack Boyd and Dan McManus, had been assigned to the project, and each had chosen his own special field of study. Jack here, who was analyzing the basic animation problem, had decided to narrow it down to the individual action of a pair of bubbles. This 2-drawing flipping action is the reliable trick by which animators prove the workability of their extremes and check the animation. Josh was making use of colored chalks and pastels in rendering sketches that would give an overall comprehensive impression of the sequence. Josh's difficulty was that his models wouldn't hold still for him. It's a good thing for Josh that this wasn't real red-hot lava. Dan's problem problem was to discover exactly how many drawings it would take to animate the bursting of a bubble. For this, he used a special chart called an exposure sheet. First, he sketched the principal stages of the action. To time the duration of each part of this action, he used a stopwatch, making rapid calculations and mentally translating seconds into frames of film. In this way, he was able to determine that the splashing position of the bubble would occur exactly on drawing number 29. In the meantime, Josh had almost finished his colored pastel rendering. Now, all concerned with the picture would have an idea how it might look in the theater. So, out of care, calculation, and concentration came one of the classics of the effects animator's art. From cosmic to microcosmic is a long, long jump, but not for the effects animators. The splash of a single little raindrop deserved as much attention as the birth of a planet. Because a raindrop was small, it didn't naturally follow that it would be easy to animate. For one thing, the speed at which it happened made study almost impossible. Slow motion photography again came to the rescue. Oddly enough, it was milk and not water that proved the most practical medium to work with. The weight and density of milk, as well as its opaque appearance, more clearly revealed what transpired during a splash. While all splashes were basically alike, there nevertheless was a surprising variety in the pattern of each individual one. A thorough analysis of the action patterns of a splash showed the way to greater authenticity. And soon, strange shapes and forms appeared upon the animator's drawing boards. Drawing by drawing, a little raindrop had been created.